This week's decision by Treasurer Wayne Swan to wave through the carve-up and sale of the big wealth manager, AXA Asia Pacific, caused hardly a murmur of dissent. But a much tougher takeover decision awaits. Singapore Stock Exchange's bid for the ASX. Now, the $8.4 billion deal represents a 40% premium, so the ASX board and shareholders love it. But it can't go ahead unless Parliament repeals the law that caps individual shareholdings in the ASX at 15%. I spoke to the Singapore Exchange boss Magnus Bocker this week. He was in town drumming up investor support for the merger. Well, Magnus Bocker, pretend I'm Wayne Swan. Why is it in the national interest of Australia for the SGX to take over the ASX?
I think that there's something very important going around in our industry, and that is for many of the listed companies, of Australian listed companies, they will grow, they grow out of Australia, they will become more and more multinational and global companies. They, over time, need to find money for their growth, either in Australia or outside. We, as operators of exchanges, want to follow those companies. For ASX, which is one of the absolutely best exchanges in the world, needs to be given the opportunity to follow a lot of the successful Australian companies around, helping them, and that's what we're trying to do.
But the question is, the ASX is already quite strong. It's efficient, it's strong, it does a good job. The question for Australia is, why does it need to be taken over by Singapore in order to continue doing that job?
I share that. ASX is a fantastic company. If ASX wasn't a good and strong company, I think we would never have a discussion or see how we could be even stronger coming together. If ASX was in a vulnerable position, not weak or didn't do a good job, I think that the interest from Singapore or from any other Asian or other markets will be very low.
But actually ASX should be taking over the Singapore Stock Exchange.
I think that when we did this...
It's much bigger.
No.
I mean, would the ASX be allowed to take over the SGX?
Absolutely, if the terms were that. But we should remember that in the world we live,